like if Thing went horribly wrong, you know? Be a completely different Fantastic Four. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we're here with another reaction to The Boys. We're on season 5, episode 2, which is called Teenage Kicks with an X. Why not? So last episode was just our kind of State of the Union now. It's been a year since the events of last season. We had some of the members of the group inside of a prison camp while the others were kind of scattered around the world. Homelander was upset because Starlight managed to plant a video from the plane crash back in season 1 and show it to a bunch of his board of investors or whatever it was, and it shook him enough to want to get, strike back by trying to draw them out, and that triggered an escape plan from the prison. It was a very shaky plan at the best of times, but they had to try it because they knew that Homelander would kill them regardless, even if they didn't show up. So it didn't go exactly according to plan. I mean, the entire group did manage to get out, but we had a loss, and that was A-Train. R.I.P. A-Train. Loved your character. Loved the fact that you actually got a redemption arc. I really wish we could have seen it come to more fruition, but God, we're in episode 1. How many more are we gonna lose? Okay, but anyways, I'm looking forward to seeing where we're gonna go from here and kind of what's going on with certain people we didn't see, i.e. Ryan. Where is he? So let's jump into the episode. Just before I do though, a reminder to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, and also that you can catch an uncut version of this reaction on my Patreon. All right, out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. Get Marie Moreau here. She can fix him if Marie can fix him.
But most of all, his captain, Homelander, amen.
Amen, sir.
Look at that. Homelander can't even smile because he knows how much that man hated him and laughed in his face for his final words.
In this house, Starlight and her minions are literally possessed by demons. They spew it.
I'm sorry, the way the demon's like, huh?
Can you feel the Holy Ghost power?
That's not what we're feeling.
Praise him for victory.
Is Homelander just mad because the only person you're supposed to worship is him? He's like, this is a little bit too much religion for me. Seriously. He is way too good at making these micro expressions that have given Homelander just all these layers.
Welcome to the outskirts of Erie, Pennsylvania.
Otherwise known as Toronto. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna get me down. I get knocked down, but I'll get up again. You're never gonna keep me down.
You're still working on the virus.
Not working. Sorted. Thanks to this diamond geezer.
I get knocked down, but I'll get up again. You're never going. Oh, he's still here.
Poor sods. Didn't stand a chance.
Samir? Hi, I'm Huey. I was
Right, he's like, blink if you need help.
So did you.
You shot me with the virus.
Your leg regrew.
All right. Listen.
Everyone, breathe.
As of last week, that naughty little bug of his is finally strong enough to top Homelander.
How do we know?
So we reckon. We just need a little...
Piece of DNA.
Will it infect humans?
Well, we've got to test it.
We're close to Cleveland. You wish to test it on Rock Hard, no?
You mean Hard Rock?
Rock Hard is a living mountain. 900 pounds of walking granite. Hasn't been seen since his unspeakable acts at the Lincoln Memorial, no?
Do I want to know? I don't want to know.
Fucked Lincoln in the ear, filled it with so much hot cum it burst out of his mouth.
Which makes Rock Hard the perfect weapon. No one gives a fuck about him. So, we nip in, twat him, bring him back here for a dose of kill juice.
I do twats. Never mind.
I say we take the virus and we run.
Or kill him. Look, it's 10,000 soups to save 8 billion people worldwide. That's a good price in any war.
I hate to say it, but Annie's kind of the best that there is. And she's corrupt as fuck.
You're not the one who's going to die, right? Why do you always give in to them?
Kimiko, please, wait!
It's not an easy choice.
Ditching Ivy and I at the camp, you're siding with Butcher, your hair's different. Okay, not so much about
I was about to
hair.
say the hair seems the same.
Counterpoint. Not talk.
I mean,
Distractions work.
that's a pretty compelling point.
Maybe find a corner though. Like, I feel like this place isn't very soundproof. And it's also full of a bunch of agents that could probably hurt you if they're in the wrong spots. Just put that out there.
You stood there.
Girl,
Her legs grew back really fast.
But this is happening, with or without us. So I must learn everything I can about this pestilence.
Knowledge is definitely power in this situation.
I spent every day of the last year dreaming about you.
My ship. Mm-hmm. Oh, don't you talk French to me, sir. Stop it. Way to smooth that out. You did a good job there, Frenchie. Whew. Damn, everybody getting busy in this place? And I'm gonna get pissed.
Yo, Madame F, is it really
Right?
recorded?
Now you're asking.
Tingly and damp.
No one wants to shower first? Okay. 5 seasons we waited for these two to get together. You gonna think about him for the rest of your life. Hopefully it won't be very long.
You left me no choice.
Mm-hmm.
It's for your own good.
Oh, thank God he's dead. He doesn't have to listen to this.
The big brother that you never had.
He has a big brother.
I reached out my hand.
You can try to talk your way out of this guilt. It's not gonna happen.
I could count on you, man. I did count on you. I loved you.
You don't know what the word means, bro. You really don't.
Why does this keep happening to me?
Why indeed? What's the common denominator?
I guess the strongest men are the most alone.
Tell yourself that. Ooh, love the shot. Unthawing him would be unwise. But he doesn't need people, remember? He's good on his own. This is not gonna go the way you want.
Countess of the Crows brings down a protein shake to the basement. I bet my bottom anal beads is down there.
Huh?
Nip in, twat him, ready back here.
What does twatting mean?
Keep the engine running.
My British folks, if you're watching this, what does twatting mean? Can you two work?
Oh, you ready?
He's like, I thought we had 5 minutes. No, okay. Because all I need is 5 minutes.
He really let himself go.
Why is it he's got like 8 different feet?
My dick weighs more, bitch.
Well, there ain't no way we can move him.
You know what it reminds me of? If you watch the first Blade movie, there was that big guy, like that big vampire that was in the basement, like doing all the internet things. Like if he was made of rock, that's what this guy reminds me of. What's up, Jensen Ackles? He not going back in that box. You know that, right?
I just found out this morning.
You found out this morning,
Yeah.
but that just happens to be in your room.
Right? You're a liar, friend.
Did you fuck me? The fucking incest thing?
No.
Then what the fuck is this?
It was a valid question.
You are the best tracker there is. I need you to find him and report back. Very
He
simple.
takes orders from you,
You want me to work for you.
right?
I can help you.
With what?
I can give you a proper comeback.
I don't need you for that.
That part.
So the public, they're gonna believe that you are whatever I tell them.
They won't.
But I'm betting that you hate William Butcher more than you hate.
Does he hate Butcher, though?
I tried to kill you. The minute I turn my back, how do I know you won't return the favor?
You don't. He's in the habit of killing people he claims to care about.
You find William Butcher for me. All is forgiven.
But you know what? Psycho's of a feather. Whatever.
The ancient Taoists believed that perennium sunning stopped Qi.
What? No?
We'll test it here.
What? Test?
Monsieur Jacques.
Can you even get it in him?
No, we got to do the seal of ventilation. Every exit point tighter than a Boy Scout's asshole at Jamboree.
How would you know that?
His heart rate is 10 beats per minute. He can probably hold his breath for a couple of hours, like a blue whale.
He won't breathe. How do we get the virus in him?
Whoa,
Doesn't he have to take a shit?
Kamiko, you and me.
Y'all jealous? Leave them alone! 5 years!
We've so far identified the location of 10,000 active Starlight sympathizers. Coincidentally, the map is almost identical to where the most nut milks are consumed.
Okay, so what, the lactose intolerant now must be Starlighters? Okay, because people don't want to sit there and die of stomach cramps and shit themselves to death? Okay.
What qualifies someone as an active Starlighter?
Indeed.
We've got, 52,000 data points on every user. We truly live in an age of wonder.
Or stalking.
People get twitchy at rounding up their neighbors, but they'll flat out revolt if we raise taxes.
Yeah, I'm wrong.
Insane this is right now. He'll back you. You can do it. Speak up. And amazing, Ashley. You're a real Che Guevara.
Well, alrighty then. Let me ask the most important.
So the voice in her head is like, okay. He's like, hey guys, I brought my dad to work today.
This is the President, Vice President of the United States of America. They work for me. Everyone?
Yeah, you know your dad's not going to respect Sage, right?
And Steve, Soldier Boy's gonna need a full pardon.
Well, sir, he was guilty of, treason.
Like that's stopping you.
Consider done, sir.
Thank you.
Terrific. And you know what?
Acting like you got any kind of moral compass, please.
Can I get you a glass of milk, sir?
No.
From a boob?
Stephen.
From a boob?
I'll also have a Manhattan.
Girl, you can't handle alcohol.
It's mountain pornography.
Almost got you, fuckers.
That's disgusting.
At least that explains how he's grown. Bashing his bishop.
Gross.
Can't even, never mind. Why am I, no, don't even. I hate that my brain's so analytical. Because sometimes my brain be asking questions I don't need to know the answers to. Y'all just hurting us. Why are you doing this? Someone's here?
So we're going to be using Black Noir's Noir Black Liquid Eyeliner because it is the go.
I was about to say, I don't know why you have your head all the way in there and there's a camera on there.
You decided
Enough of that. Fuck. That's all your powers do?
It's like each layer of cum represents a slow passage of time.
A metaphor for my balls.
This is like if Thing went horribly wrong. You know? Be a completely different Fantastic Four.
I guess we can add A-Train to that list, right?
You didn't kill them.
They made choices.
They chose to fight.
Yeah, because they thought that I was going to save them.
A-Train never thought you were going to save him.
Fucking easy for me to say I'm bulletproof.
Are you laser-proof?
So I just get a fucking white picket fence and cherry.
Respectfully, you're kind of overestimating yourself, Annie, as far as your importance. This is about more than you.
I am the heavyweight champion in torturing myself over lives lost.
Yep, ask his kidneys and liver how many drugs and drinks he's used to try to get over it. Yeah.
You get up every day and you keep going. Anything else is an insult to the dead.
That part. Between this and Daredevil, too much reality in my fantasy, y'all.
Pull over.
Not a chance.
We have to help them.
No,
Well,
we.
them and
What are we
every
gonna do?
500 miles will be up our ass within the hour.
I know it sucks, but this is not the time or the place, Huey. Oh, please do lock yourself in there and freeze it. We'd love that. It's probably musty.
Sage, I was just,
It doesn't matter.
Did you tell Soldier Boy about the virus?
no. Oh, you have a lot to learn about managing big personalities, young lady.
Okay.
Well, besides, if there is a
It's
virus,
the way that he's crumbled into a naughty teenager here.
Because for a moment I was afraid you'd only woken him because he was your dad.
Clocked.
So when he gets infected and he dies,
you don't know that's gonna happen.
when it does, you won't go to pieces. Because it was tactical, right?
Mm-hmm. He's like, shh, I didn't think that far.
Transporting it without the
All
necessary
right, all
precautions.
right. Less talking, more giving.
There's also a non-0% chance it could wipe out every human on Earth.
So don't drop it, Huey.
Best not drop it.
Watch, you might get another volcano doing that.
Jetstreak's gonna shoot an RPG up your ass, and Sheline is gonna take a shit in the gaping hole that's left.
Is that her superpower?
You being here was not part of the plan, all right?
The Britney Spears shirt. I can't.
Does your face full of pubes mean your friends fuck your pussy mouth?
I got a teenage daughter.
It's
That shit right there bounces right off me.
true.
Sheila and H. Crows. Damn.
Damn.
Motherfucker, don't go through my shit.
Prozac.
You're depressed.
I just want to go home. I miss my mom and my dad. Please.
I feel like this is a ploy. She didn't answer your question nor how to get what's his name to breathe. I do believe she's genuinely depressed, however, but yeah.
Careful.
Billy don't care, you understand? He don't care. He thought he was gonna die about 15 times already.
A-Train did a lot of horrible things, but he saved our lives. And he died
Yours
of your-
specifically.
Especially your girl. I mean, that's why she's giving it a cold shoulder.
Talk to
isn't
me
it?
about Annie. You don't know what's going on with her.
Doesn't he?
You, pouncing about with this Jiminy Cricket, listening to your heart bollocks.
Unfortunately, he's right about this one.
Is there any part of you left that's still human?
His beard.
You're gonna get Annie killed, not me.
Annie's a grown woman and makes her own decisions.
It's good.
He's dead, right? He's supposed to be dead?
No, he was not dead.
Mallory put him on ice for a bit.
You're telling us this now?
It wasn't relevant till now.
Well, we wanted a guinea pig. Who better than Homelander's old man?
But he's been tested in different ways, though. Like the Russians did a lot to him, so who knows what this virus will do to him.
Running a truck under the name Don T. Be a cunt. Same alias that we had in the Hero Gang.
You guys are besties. But yeah, the Russians did a lot. Like maybe, and he's on a different cocktail than Homelander, so it may not work. Fun.
You one of us now?
Well, if you can't beat him, join him. Then fucking beat him.
Being super's not gonna save you.
Okay.
Homelander's double the cunt now, if that's even possible.
Still your kid.
Because I was gonna kill some dumb kid?
That kid is your grandson.
You feeling good about that call right about now?
Yes.
That we've got an uber virus strong enough to kill every fucking suit on the planet.
Oh,
bullshit.
He lied.
The things this virus can do. Fucking diabolical.
You know, Billy's a lot of things, but a liar's not one of them.
Do you want to know why? Because you are a dumb fucking twat.
And a misogynist, and a racist, and homophobic. Pretty much all things that are wrong with this world.
What? You're a dead socialist.
That's gonna get you killed, yeah.
Fuck!
That's for being stupid.
Yeah, it's a metaphor for your life, bro.
Soldier boy.
Hey! Sorry.
Fuck that. Just how long do we have? Just Huey.
Seconds. Not the panic attack. And ma'am, it's okay. He will remember you, unfortunately, but it's okay. Huey! Actually, it wasn't him, it was you. Just get some catnip. She'll be down for the count. She might start humping your leg as well, but. Yuck! Well, that's bad.
Gotta drop a dookie. Get it? That's you. Ah! You're the dookie.
If you gotta explain the joke, it's not a joke. I don't think you can catch him. Annie?
I got you.
The way he's clutching. So baitable. You're like 100 years old, pal. Really? You're still falling for those? Okay.
You're with me.
To the basement.
How's a useless cock gobbler like you still alive?
Plot armor.
Your jokes are about dudes blowing dudes.
Yeah, you're kind of good.
Kind of obsessed. Well, not today, you semen-swilling butt pirate. What?
Yeah, I really do think he's closeted.
I will shoot hot cum in your
Bro,
face.
do not right now.
Uh-oh, so you're not so smart after all. Okay, different effect. Different effect, but it's not the same as the others. Did you get the crow girl out? I actually feel for her. Yuck. I don't think it's gonna kill him. It was a different form of the virus. And as I said, he's got so many cocktails mixed in him too. I thought his eyes were gonna open. I don't think Soulja Boy's out. We'll see. But he's a special case. Watch him turn out to be the freaking vaccine.
Well, I did.
The way they're all standing over there. Ooh.
And until we are certain I have not been infected with this plague.
Smart. Y'all don't have a hazmat shower? Yeah, you're not supposed to be alive. Run away. Wipe your face. Hopefully no one will recognize you. He couldn't do it. Like he said, he's got a daughter her age.
May I have a word?
No, she was about to have a very private moment with her burrito.
Why are we doing this?
Doing what?
If posting weird shit were a crime, I'd be serving 2 life sentences.
Maybe we don't say it out loud.
But that chair isn't a pedestal. It's a chopping block. And I can help you. But you gotta talk to me.
Don't strain yourself trying to read my mind again. You know you can't.
Yeah, I feel like there's too much going on in that head. Her brain would be the worst thing in the world to read. It's going at a pace that I don't think you could ever begin to catch up with.
I need a minute.
He's like, okay. Just saw them, but... Ah!
Do I get laser eyes? No. I get a psychic fucking tumor.
That's crazy.
You should have left with A-Train when he asked you to. At least he had a shred of decency. That's why he's dead.
With
First
his,
they came
with his pride and his self-love intact.
Or I'm gonna float on my back in the tub again. You want that? You're better than this. You were better than this. No! Ow!
Humans are immune.
Chance, merci d'avoir merde.
That makes one group of people.
Hold your cunt down. Homeland to go. We fucking did it.
About time.
I don't know, guys. I don't think Soulja Boy's dead.
There are over 50 uninhabited islands in the Pacific. We just need to find one so remote. Nobody will ever find us.
It's not possible with Soups.
Mon amour, you did not see its carnage. It's too dangerous.
It's dangerous.
She's seen...
Innocent people are being rounded.
Yeah, she's seen a lot of carnage already, friend.
For the lives we've taken, I think we have to...
Get up every day and keep going. C'est ça.
It's about the heart. It's about the soul. Running is an idea, but honestly, you're never going to be fully safe. And yeah, like that solves the problem for you. But what about everybody else that's suffering under this madman? All hands on deck.
It's fucking brutal.
I don't know. For rock hard, I'd say it's an improvement.
I agree. Well, trying to distract again.
And if you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to.
Perfect.
But I'm not letting you die. And if you can't, then I'm just gonna fight for both of us. But just don't turn into fucking Butcher, okay?
Nobody can turn into Butcher. She's been through the Butcher, some generational nonsense there. That's so deep. And he ain't there.
Time for your meds.
I don't have pets, but I've heard that breed of dog has a really hard time because like the way they're bred, like they immediately have issues with like their heart and their breathing, which sounds very sad to me. And I don't know why someone would crossbreed them to be that way.
Well, hey, be careful, sir. There's a viral contagion. I got here as soon as I heard and I locked shit down.
Oh, did you?
I told him to report back. Told him not to go in alone. Why would he do that?
Because he's dumb like you.
Doy. All right.
Leave. This should have been you. Sorry, leave.
It really should have been. It's the way you thought you could tell that man to do anything and he'd actually listen. He's not dead.
Not you.
See those eyes open right now.
Why does everyone keep leaving?
I don't know. Because you're such a joy to be around? Knew it. But I get up again. Keep me down. I get knocked down. But I get up again. Y'all don't know about Chumbawamba? Y'all don't know about Chumbawamba? Oh, the fact that song came out before a lot of y'all was born. I'm sick. All right, that was episode 2, and I'm terrified of what the hell Soulja Boy's become. Didn't I say the cocktail that lives inside Soulja Boy already? First of all, like I said, he was one of the first. His cocktail is not the same as the one as Odessa, right? From Gen V. For those who haven't watched Gen V, I'm not sure why you'd not watch Gen V. It's amazing. But we learned last season that the cocktail mix that Homelander was given, as well as Marie, spoiler alert, by the way, I guess, is called Odessa. And Soulja Boy came before Odessa, significantly before, like 40 years before. So to think that this virus would work on him, again, they don't know that, to be fair. Oh, see, this is where the cross information. Oh, they need Edgar. Anyway, they couldn't have known that. The scientist, Samir, could not have known that. He's thinking that Homelander was the start, that he was the foundation. He wasn't, right? I think he knows about Soulja Boy and all that, but I think he assumed it was the same serum. But it's not, right? Obviously, there's inherent properties that were reused, a lot of things that are the same, but a lot's changed. And that is why I was like, okay, between the fact that his serum type would have been different, and as I said, he was in Russia for God knows how long. Was that like 20 years, 30? When did they say he got captured? During the Vietnam War or something. It's like the 60s. So he was there for like 30 years. Well, no, more than that, 40. If the timelines are the same as ours. Yeah, over 40 years he was with the Russians. And they were giving him God knows what. Plus they created whatever the hell it is that's in his chest. So I'm thinking, if he is a soup, but he has an ability now that allows him to neutralize V, could he not? Does not like make his blood special? Like, I just feel like even though he's a soup, I feel like his V is not the same as everyone else's, because how could he blast off that beam and not in turn take the V out of his own blood? Do you feel what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm not a chemist. And I'm not a biochemist. And I'll tell you right now, out of the sciences I took, chemistry was my weaker subject by far. But I digress. Actually, no, physics was absolutely the worst, but chem was a close second. I was all about the biology, baby. But anyway, I wasn't surprised. I'm like, 2 reasons. But the fact that they took so long, spent so much time on Soulja Boy, and looking at the others, he got the face sores, but he didn't get the bleeding, right? So if he had the exact same symptoms as the others, I might have been like, okay, maybe. But they made sure to show he was the last one to react. His symptoms were bad, but not as bad as the others. And again, they didn't show us like anything that showed him dying per se. So that's when I was like, no, I just don't think it's gonna take the same for him, because like I said, the Russians toyed with his DNA for God knows how long. So he's not the same Soulja Boy that he was even when he left Vought all those years ago. So we'll have to see what happened to. I don't think that the virus had no effect though. I think that there's something that might have happened. Maybe his brain's fried now. We saw how dangerous he was back in the season he was introduced, when his memories were incomplete and his brain wasn't 100%. If that happened again, we're in a lot of trouble, because he still has that blast, which is pretty terrifying. So we'll have to see. He might actually be, I think it's going to be one of two things. He's either going to be the antidote, right? They're going to have to take his blood and figure out an antidote to the virus using his blood, or he's a carrier, like a super carrier, and instead he's going to just infect soups. Like, he will be the person going around and infecting soups, which is bad. And again, maybe what he has, the variant he has, might be the one that ends up being dangerous to humans too. He might become the new zombie virus, guys. He might be like, oh, he's the new apocalypse. I feel it. I feel like it's happening. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, outside of that, this episode, the team kind of working, talking about the virus, seeing what Billy's been up to for the last year, seeing that he did keep working on it. He went and found Samir. I mean, really, Samir was being hidden the whole time anyways because of Victoria, but now that Victoria is gone, it didn't make sense for his daughter to stay with him, because from the sounds of things, he wasn't that close to her, first of all, and second of all, no way Edgar was gonna let her live the way he was living. But honestly, it sounds like Butcher didn't give him much of a choice. But honestly, I think that Samir's of the mind that we need to get rid of Soups, right? Even though that means his daughter will be at risk. I think he feels like kind of like what Annie said, right? 10,000 Soups versus billions of people. Like, the math is kind of simple with that mindset. Now, of course, it's never that simplistic. Like, Soups are still humans. I mean, I know they keep, referring to them as like a different species, but they're not. This is effectively a drug that has altered their DNA, but they are still human at the core. They're still humans, same human feelings, same human emotions, right? Same issues that they have. Like, if they had issues as a human, they have them as a soup. The only things that the V will sometimes change for them is some of the physical things they may experience. But as far as their thoughts, emotions, feelings, experience, it's still a human experience. So to just write it off to be like, oh, we just got to eradicate them because they're like bad cockroaches, that's just not realistic. And obviously, as Huey said in the car, not every soup is an a-hole, right? Not every soup is has a god complex and feels like they can do whatever to whomever. There's a lot of them, like so many that we of course, the ones we've seen in this show have been kind of the worst of the worst. that there's been a smattering of them that just, for the most part, are living their lives. They're just trying to lay low. They're not doing too much of what their powers. They're not trying to have powers. They're not happy to have powers. You get my point. So, you know, to kind of put this whole broad brush and saying that they all need to go is unfair. But of course, over the seasons, we've learned why Billy has come to this place, and why even with Indira from season 1 of Gen V, like obviously she had more sinister reasons for developing the virus, but her reasoning wasn't completely wrong. Like, soups are a problem because there's no way to contain or control them at the moment outside of having them try to control each other. And they would rather work together than to do that. So, you know, there's a conundrum here. You know, is it right to just automatically, you know, wipe them out and effectively have a form of genocide? No, I don't think so. But is there a better alternative at the moment that anyone's looking into? No. And also, is there maybe a super company that is funded by world organizations and that is infinitely rich with pockets and resources all over the place and Black Ops sites that's going to continue to develop more and more ways to circumvent any controls that are created, i.e. VOT? Yes. So with that in mind, you know, it feels like there isn't a lot of alternatives, a lot of choices for them outside of the virus. But just based on what I just said, it isn't the root of the problem. Soups are a problem, make no mistake. Homelander does have to go. Like, that's a toy that's broken beyond repair, unfortunately. But the real problem is VOT. And by extension, because we see that other countries, the Russians and a few other countries, they've realized they've also started to try to develop their own super serum. They're not there yet, but they'll get there, right? So all that to say, VOT's the problem. VOT is the one who decided to create this thing and to put soups in the world in the first place. And there's too much money and too many things that they've invested into it. They're not going to just walk away. Even if this virus wipes out all their handiwork for now, they're going to just develop another resistant form of V. Like, so yeah, that's where I would say that this is a flawed theory with the virus. Like, yeah, sure, if you want to take out Homelander with it, so be it. But the root cause, the issue lies with VOT, the empire that is VOT. And as much as I love the boys, I don't think that they've got it right now in them to be able to begin to dismantle that organization. Like, it's here to stay. Soups are not going anywhere. So anyway, yeah, throughout this episode, obviously we had a little bit of the moral dilemma, a lot of catch-ups. You know, I'm sorry, I love me some Frenchie and Kumiko. I love that they were so lovey-dovey this whole episode. Like I said, they waited a long time to get here. Frenchie's been in love with her for so long. It took so long for to get to this point where they're finally on the same page at the same time. So I'm not mad at them getting their love on this episode. Love that he was saying that, you know, if there's a way that I can find to protect you from the virus, I'll do it. But then recognizing that that's just really going to be counterproductive and probably not work. And, you know, of course he wanted to run because that's what Frenchie likes to do. But Kumiko, even though she's, like she said, she has no problem with the virus, she's a bigger problem with Butcher. She holds a grudge. But anyways, I love that she said to him, like, no, like I've hurt so many people because of this ability that I have. You know, it wasn't necessarily my fault, but I have, and a lot of people are suffering right now. And it is a knee-jerk reaction to Homelander being angry with us. If we went away, like, does that make us, like, does it make all the death that has happened, whether it was, you know, intentional or a collateral damage situation, like, is that going to be fair? Is A-Train dying going to be fair if we just run off and we leave them to try to fix this while we try to hide on an island, which will never be far enough from this type of stuff, right? So I love that she kind of came to that. And of course, Frenchie will go anywhere she goes. So I really love that for the two of them. Praying that they get a happy ending, but I don't know. The boys is not really about that. Annie and Huey, not much to say there. You know, Annie is kind of going through her own thing. You know, she feels like she doesn't deserve to continue surviving after this whole thing is done because she's done things, whether it was before or, you know, after, you know, or the people that have died because they were trying to, you know, work with her. She's carrying around a lot of guilt. A lot of it is misplaced because, as I said in the episode, and as, who told her that? Frenchie? Yeah, that people made decisions, right? Anyone who became a Starlighter, including A-Train, they did it because they chose to do it. No one made A-Train. Like, Annie asked him to show up for the mission last episode. He said no, she respected it, right? No one forced him. He came because he wanted to. He made the decision to go against Homelander, knowing it would probably cost him his life and possibly that of his family's, because he wanted to, because that's what he believed in, and that's what he would, if he had to die, he would prefer to die with his integrity and his pride and his soul intact than to go out a coward. at Homelander's side or live in a world that Homelander's trying to create with this psychosis that he's going through. So yeah, Annie's going through it, but I hope at some point she recognizes that, you know, these are adults that are being recruited here, right? They know what they're doing. Not even recruited, they're choosing to join. And it's because they know what's happening is wrong. And a lot of them are very aware that it's not a safe place to do that. To go against the grain right now is not a safe thing to do, but because they believe in it, they're willing to do it. So yeah, but understandable. You know, Annie's someone who's never wanted people to get hurt. And you know, the past seasons have been a crash course in the darker side of everything for her. So, you know, I completely understand that this is a lot for her. And I get where, you know, Butcher told Huey in the car about how, like, you know, she's not telling you everything. She's pulling back from you because she knows that you kind of come in with this, like, it's concern, but you do kind of come in on a moral high horse. You know, you do like to condemn people for their darker thoughts, and you do like to kind of act like everything's going to be, you know, like you said, very Magoo-esque type of energy. And sometimes people need a little bit more of a reality check, a little bit more groundedness. And I don't want Huey to change, because one of the reasons why, as you know, Homelander brought out last episode, that he's got people willing to literally die for him is because he is that ray of sunshine, because he is that hope glittering in the dark. And both, you know, especially for, you know, Butcher is such a sea of murky, dark energy that, you know, the fact that Huey can shine even a crack into that soul is a feat in itself. But yeah, Huey shouldn't change, because that is why the people in his life really love him. But it's more the judgmental side of it that he comes across with. Like, I'm glad he has his moral compass, and I'm not saying he should necessarily bend that for anyone, but the game that they're playing right now in the world that they live in is not a morally black and white place. It's very gray. And for them to accomplish what they need to accomplish, especially where Homelander is concerned, it's not going to be a black and white thing. It's not going to be a keep your hands clean kind of thing. And yeah, what Starlight doesn't want, what Annie doesn't want, or anybody else in this group who is a little bit more accepting of this, is to get the, you know, the Huey look of disdain, or the, you know, he loves to give like the passive aggressive remarks to people when he's got an issue. So, you know what I mean? Like, Annie's going through a lot right now, and she just isn't really in the place to handle that from Huey right now. That's really what her issue is. Obviously, she still loves him, and it's not that deep as in like we're gonna break up over it, but that's kind of why she's not ready to talk about it yet. But anyways, in this episode, we see that they kind of, like, Huey just basically let her know that, like, if she's gonna think she can do the whole kamikaze thing like Butcher does, he's not gonna be okay with that. But as I said, I don't think she's at that point. I think she's just experiencing some lows, but I don't think she's gonna do anything reckless. I don't think she does not want to go. Let's put it that way. Maybe she feels like she deserves to, but she's not seeking death. The only person who might be actively throwing themselves into that is Butcher, and even that, like, he says he's ready for it, but subconsciously, he keeps fighting like a cat, right? He's fighting like cats and dogs and every other beast there is that fights to the max to stay alive and to keep kicking, even if he doesn't exactly know why yet. We know why. It's because of Huey, it's because of the boys, and of course, by extension, Ryan. But anyway, that's what kind of happened there. We see that they went to go try out the virus. They wanted to test it on a soup that they felt like, you know, the world certainly wouldn't miss. And like I said, he kind of reminds me of that Blob from the Blade movie, but like a cross between that and a thing went horribly wrong from Fantastic Four. But anyways, it turns out he wasn't easiest to, it's not like the Invisible Guy where you can just find an orifice to easily penetrate. He could hold his breath as well, so they couldn't get it through his mouth. So they're like, how are we going to test this? Like, what are we going to do? And that ended up giving them some time in that space. We met another soup, the Crow girl. What was her name? Crow something? But anyways, a girl who's, again, doing what she needs to do because she thinks that's what you're supposed to do as a soup, but she's miserable. She's, you know, depressed. And MM just kind of, you know, being a dad for her in that moment when he really didn't need to, and saving her life, thankfully. I wasn't sure if it might have been a ploy. I didn't think so, though, but I'm glad that MM did save her because, yeah, she doesn't deserve to die along with this group of folks. I mean, I don't even know if actually, no, maybe the flying guy deserved it. He was going to drop Huey without asking any questions. So anyway, they had a hard time trying to figure out how they were going to get the virus into him, but in the end, because Soulja Boy showed up serendipitously, thanks to Homelander, they ended up getting the distraction that they needed. You know, the rock guy, he let his guard down, and it was the perfect time to test the virus. So yeah, that rock guy is gone. And again, like I said, I don't think anyone's going to miss him particularly, or the fly guy. And Soulja Boy, as I mentioned at the beginning of this review, he's now infected. And I don't think that's changed, but we'll have to see what the long-term effects of that are. And yeah, outside of that, there was a little bit of Homelander, you know, still obviously reeling over the death of A-Train. And I say reeling because he really does, in his own twisted way, care about these people. But like, it's not like true care so much as it is a sense of like, ownership. And, you know, we saw like his skewed viewpoint on it, like he'd been the perfect friend and it was A-Train that went off the rails. But as I said before, the fact that A-Train died with integrity is what's really rocking him to his core, right? That's what's really got him upset, why the funeral bothered him. You know, he had to talk himself through in that eulogy talk with him, just to kind of appease his own conscience, because he knows he did wrong. He knows he didn't have to kill him. He didn't even want to. That's why he, like I said, like it took him so long. We all know that he could have lasered him or he could have just popped his head real quick. But the fact that he slowly choked him out, he didn't want to do it. He was fighting his own, I don't even know if conscience is the right word, but he didn't want to do it is the point. He really didn't want to have to kill A-Train because he did care for him. I do believe him when he said that he loved him in the sense of as much as Homelander feels love for anyone. I think he felt that with A-Train, but you know, in the end, it's always down to his ego, his fragile ego and his desire to be loved in the way that he thinks is love. If it doesn't fall into that, you know, he loses his temper and then he does stupid things and he regrets them later, right? So that's why, of course, when he saw what happened to Soulja Boy at the end of this episode, he started crying again because he's like, why does everyone leave me, right? Why do all the people that I care about, why do they always leave me? Not realizing that, once again, with his dad, he sent him to go find Butcher. He sent him into this knowing that Butcher had access to a virus that could hurt him. And I love that Sage came in and was like, you know, I've been stepping back and letting you make the decisions. And see, now you've come to me and told me this is what you want to do. I would have told you that either you need to tell your dad that there's a virus so that he won't go charging in Roy Rogers style and thinking he can save the day, or just tell you that sending him all together was a bad idea, right? But he didn't, right? Because of course he always thinks he's smarter than everyone, including the smartest person on earth. So now he thought anyways that he took out his own dad after taking out his friend, right? So it's not going well for Homelander. Like the emotional collapse, the mental collapse has been coming since season 3 when he started to hear that high-pitched noise, but it's going to come to a fever pitch this season, no doubt, because he is taking hit after hit and we still don't know where Ryan is. We still don't know what's going on with that. So I am curious to see, like I said, last episode we saw that people aren't even allowed to say Ryan's name. So that's crazy considering how much Homelander tried to indoctrinate him last season. But yeah, was that pretty much all for Homelander? Outside of showing that he is still very much desperate for connection. Oh, Ashley. We finally have Ashley's power. She's able to read minds, but it came with a whole other face. I don't even know what you call that, but that's creepy. That's like literally having a voice in your head all the time. But I mean, yeah, I guess the mind reading is not a bad thing. It's not the worst power ever to have, but the mind she probably would need to read most. Like, I think she can't read Homelander's. I'm fairly certain back in season 1 or 2, we heard that Homelander's mind is not one that they can read because his powers are too strong. And then obviously I knew with Sage, like her mind goes at a speed that a regular mind, even with V in it, would not be able to keep up with. So yeah, I'm pretty sure if Ashley tried, she'd give herself an aneurysm, right? That's what exactly. Sage, like, you can try to read my mind, but just the back of your head will explode. Oh, I wonder if she's referring to the psychic bubble. Maybe she is. Anyway, we see that outside of learning that information, Ashley's struggling. We knew that from like a couple seasons ago though, right? When she helped out to help the people to escape from Vought when all the things were going down at the tower. You know, Ashley, she wants to survive. You know, she's gone through a little bit of a gambit herself of throwing herself into it, trying to lean into the villain role, but realizing she's not that girl, to now just trying to figure out the balance between staying alive and not completely descending into hell and selling her soul. And she doesn't know what to do right now. She's a bit scared. She thought that Sage would be an ally, but as she's seeing now, Sage is basically saying, well, I'm enjoying this power. I'm enjoying what's going on. I don't think it's 100% true. I think part of it is that she is in fact, you know, reeling over Godolkin, right? I think Ashley brought that up. Like, didn't your breakup, like, isn't that part of why you're acting this way? So I do think that's part of why Sage is kind of seemingly checked out. But, you know, as Ashley rightfully said, Sage always has a backup plan. Her brain has, you know, it can't turn off. So there's definitely something that she's allowing to spin out right now. And she still does have a semblance, I think, of control in what she believes she's controlling. But I also think a part of her is a little bit like, screw it, because she's still hurt, right? Whether she wants to admit it or not, she did care for Godolkin a lot. She was vulnerable with him, which we've never seen before. So yeah, I do think she's having a bit of a moment, but we'll have to see where her plans take her and what she's expecting from all of this. I really like hearing how her mind works, and we haven't had a lot of talk from her yet this season, so we'll have to see. But yeah, otherwise, this is an interesting episode. Things are kind of moving along. The virus we know now does work to an extent, but what does this mean now that Soulja Boy is potentially immune? And what steps do we take next? Where's Ryan? I still want to know these things. These are still questions that are outstanding. So I enjoyed watching this. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love, and I'll see you in the next one.